Is the New Balance SuperComp Elite V5 better than the previous version, which is the V4? You guys comment down below and let me know, do you guys actually run? Let me know in the comment section. I want to see what my audience does. You guys run? You guys maybe work out? Let me know what type of activities y'all be getting into down below in the comment section. With that being said, let's get straight into it.
Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex with Meta Endurance, and in today's video we are reviewing the New Balance SC Elite V5. This is New Balance, brand new.
They look pretty fly, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. And you know me, if you don't know me already, you're probably not tapped in with the channel. And I recommend you hit that subscribe notification bell because we is posting twice a day. But for me personally, I love me a sneaker that looks good. I feel like now they're kind of transitioning sneakers from sneakers that were just only for running to now sneakers you can wear. Maybe if you run, maybe if you're going for like a lifestyle type of like dinner outing or something of the sort, or basically any different situation you put them in. So I like this right here, even though you're probably not going to wear like a more of a performance sneaker out, but I feel like it's good to have like those kind of instances where you can if you had to or if you wanted to.
Super shoe, their top of the line race day shoe that will be seen on the feet of their elite athletes and many of them.
Now this right here look lighter than the Row V5. The Row V5s look pretty thick, especially that midsole stack. Pretty thick.
As well, probably in the future. This video is
I do
sponsored
see
by
some similarities.
Iron is a retailer here in Europe. They are shipping to many European countries, and they have
Europe.
no interest in me giving a good or bad review about the shoe. They are carrying many brands, and yeah,
so
New
you
Balance
guys
is just
free.
one of them. You will be able to purchase the New Balance SC Elite V5.
Man, how do people do this? Or is it just colors in the background, y'all? I love the colors in the background. I like how it goes with the sneaker. I love the overall vibe.
At Iron,
It's almost like a gradient almost.
Around this year, around the summertime, for 280 euros. The price point in dollars is $250, and with that, it's a good segue to go to the specs.
So this got to be a racing shoe, right?
Tech height on the SC Elite V5 is 40 millimeters in the heel, 32 in the forefoot for that 8 millimeters drop. The SC Elite V4 was announced as a 40-36 with a 4 millimeter offset. So this now is an 8 millimeter drop. It's more drop, less foam also in the forefoot going down.
For all my runners out there, is it better to have more drop or less drop? I'm really curious. I'm trying to get into running very, very soon, but currently it doesn't align with my goals. I'm trying to just stay really big right now and just work out. But I'm gonna definitely cut real soon. You know, summer's coming up, so we gotta get right. But yeah, you guys let me know. Is it better to have more drop? I'm trying to look in like the sneaker market and see what I can get.
At least
and see what makes sense.
Balance numbers. Like I said already, the price point will be 280 euros, $250. And the weight for my size US 11 is 241 grams. Keeping in mind that this shoe is still slightly wet from yesterday's race at the London Marathon. We're just one day after the London Marathon that I raced with this shoe. And therefore,
why does it seem like every single reviewer that I react to is always at these races? Like, y'all, let me know how I can tap with these races, y'all.
I believe it's probably a few grams more than it should be because it just
London race.
Still a bit wet.
That's crazy.
So let's go at 235, low 240s for this shoe, which is on the heavier side of things for a race day shoe. It's better than the SC Elite V4. The SC Elite V4 in my size was coming at 265, 268 grams. So this is still a good weight drop.
So we're improving.
But nowadays with shoes in the 170, 180, 190 range in my size US 11, this is on the heavier side.
Quite a big, yeah.
Looking at the upper, you might be wondering where this beautiful colorway is coming from, and there's a good story about it. It all comes back to 1999 when Khalid Hanouchi, a runner from Morocco that later became an American citizen, ran the Chicago Marathon, I believe, in 2:05:42. You can fact check that because I am just giving you these numbers from the top of my head, so it could be a bit different. But Khalid Hanouchi was wearing a shoe called the RC110 in a colorway very similar to this, and New Balance design team took their inspiration from that shoe back in the early 2000s, and
I wonder what other colors
they designed this
very
nice, very good looking colorway.
Two colorways. Look, both fire.
But that's just for the design, the colorway, very subjective take on it. Obviously, when it comes to the comfort, the fit, the upper itself, let's go a bit deeper into.
Don't drink a glass of this pink salt recipe unless you're ready for something 10 times more powerful than the Mounge pen. If you've been using...
I thought I was about to say, don't drink a glass of water. I'm like, damn.
Into it.
Perfect
The
timing.
fit is true to size. As you probably know, New Balance is a bit weird when it comes to sizing. Some of their shoes are running short, some are running long. This one is running true to size for me. I had absolutely no issues, no chaffing, nothing like that. During the 42 kilometers I ran with this shoe yesterday at the London Marathon. So
How
this
much
is a good sign
42
already.
kilometers?
It's on the more narrow side of things, which you could expect for a
Sounds like a lot of
shoe.
miles.
And I would say in general, it's a fit that is closer to your foot. It's not leaving much room or volume empty in this upper. The heel is a relatively solid construction. There's quite some material, quite some padding, probably hence also the weight coming from here. The tongue is padded exactly where you need it, meaning at the top of it where the laces are being closed or being laced. It's a semi-gusseted tongue, and as you can see, that material is quite pliable. Almost feels a bit stretchy. I don't think it's stretchy, but it feels like it is, and it's a nice material. I don't know if this is still called Phantom Fit like on the SC Elite 4. I don't think it's the case.
They don't say the name.
But if I had to choose between the two uppers and the two fits, I would probably go for the SC Elite V5 compared to the previous SC Elite V4. And the insole sock liner is glued in the shoe. I think if you were to pull, if you just pull it, you can remove it. So it's removable. And by the way, it's very flimsy. I don't know when brands will start working on insoles and sock liners. When it comes to the midsole, we have a FuelCell midsole. FuelCell, as you know, is a generic name covering many different things, many different cookings of midsole. This is 100% PIBA midsole material, meaning that it's very soft, very responsive, and it's that top-of-the-line foam, next-generation foam. There's TPE, PIBA, ATPU, all of them are high up there. This is 100% PIBA, with now a different construction, a different geometry compared to the SC Elite before. 40 millimeters in the heel, 32 in the forefoot, 8 millimeters drop. It makes you a bit more angle, a bit more on your toes. It makes you also want to kind of, heel strike a bit more or strike a bit more towards the back of the shoe and transition to the forefoot to be on your toes and be propelled. The SC Elite before had a bit more of that midfoot tendency, if that makes sense. And we'll come back to the ride, but that's what the geometry does to these two shoes. It makes this shoe a bit more aggressive as well, in my opinion, and that's also because of how the midsole is constructed. There is obviously a plate sandwiched in between two layers of midsole, and that plate is stiffer in the
Traction looks nice.
Foot than it used to be, meaning that this shoe you can you can bend it, but you can't bend it much, and especially here in the forefoot, there's not much room for bending it. It's quite stiff, and you can feel that stiffness under your forefoot, and I'll come back to this here in a very short second when I'm describing the ride of the shoe to you.
Now, you guys, why do they incorporate these carbon plates? Is it not good to have a little bit of flexibility in the shoe? I've always been kind of interested and intrigued to know why. Like, why is it that they do this to their shoes? Because I would imagine maybe more flexibility adds a little more comfort to your run. Maybe it'd run a little better. But I don't know, maybe for your runs you want more of a stiff feel, so maybe it's more responsive. I guess is the way I'm kind of thinking about it, but you guys let me know
what
if you guys know in the
changed to the midsole. You can feel in the ride, and that's, I think, super true here. The changes brought to the midsole by the New Balance team are something you can definitely feel and experience when you're running in the shoe, meaning that you have less foam in the forefoot, and your forefoot is sitting on top of a much more stiff plate. It makes it a bit harsher in the forefoot, a bit more aggressive as well, because you have more of a firm, dense platform to push on, but it makes it a bit less enjoyable when your legs are fatigued at the end of a race, like a marathon, for instance. In general, I would say that the one thing that struck me is the reduction in width of the shoe. This is probably one of the ways that New Balance reduced the weight of the shoe compared to the SC Elite before, and they also reduced the width. If you compare two shoes side by side, I don't have the SC Elite before here with me in the office, but what would struck you is how much more narrow the midfoot of this shoe is compared to the SC Elite before. We're probably talking, close to 1 centimeter, so 10 millimeters of width reduction between the two shoes, and you can really feel it. The SC Elite before was a very friendly, it could be, the first marathon shoe for many runners, fairly stable despite the very soft and very high, high displacement of the midsole on the SC Elite before. Here you still do have that displacement, that softness in the foam, but with much less width, meaning that you are also less stable in the shoe. And yeah, it feels just like many other super shoes, less stable than something like the SC Elite before that was very friendly when it came to stability. Because you are also kind of more on your forefoot and experiencing a bit less the heel, you don't really feel the bounce of the PIBA. At least I didn't feel it that much, but again, I only ran one race, one marathon in this shoe. I believe it's already quite enough to first impression review here on the channel, but I feel like this shoe would be better off on a 5K, 10K, maybe half marathon distance, because again of how much more aggressive, how harsher and firmer it feels underfoot. And the weight reduction is definitely a good thing for the marathon as well. But what's missing here for me is that extra stability and that extra plushness and softness underfoot for the marathon distance. Does it mean it's a bad shoe? Not at all. I think it's a better shoe than the SC Elite V4 when it comes to shorter distances. But if I were to run again a marathon tomorrow, I won't do that. I would probably run in the SC Elite V4 instead of the SC Elite V5.
Good to know.
The outsole has also been changed. There is still that groove in the middle, allowing for a bit of decoupling and also allowing for some stones to be cut in here. But most importantly, the outsole texture and material changed. It felt
Why would
grippy.
you want a stone to be caught there? I just caught that. Why would you want a stone to be caught in your shoe?
Yesterday was
Won't that be
obviously
uncomfortable?
dry in London, very hot day, but I know it felt grippy because I ran in some water puddles on the course. We had some water being sprayed all over us at different places on the course of the London Marathon.
That low-key
And when you were
sounds fun,
transitioning
yo.
from a-
I ain't gonna lie. One thing I gotta do on my bucket list is run a marathon. And multiple, not even just one. You run it on multiple different terrains. I feel like I'll do it with people that actually want to do it with me too. I feel like that'd be a dope experience, even alone too. I feel
dry
like that'd be
surface
hard.
to wet surface, that's where you can really experience how the grip is. If you're running only on the wet, you know, if your shoe's bad, it's bad, but then you kind of tend to get into that foot strike pattern and gait cycle where you repeat the same foot strike that accommodates the wetness or the humidity on the surface you're running it. When you're transitioning in between the two, or when you're transitioning from, let's say, gravel to mud, whatever the transition is, that's where you can really experience, you know, in a snap of a second, the grip and the different feelings you have underfoot. And I transitioned from dry to wet a few times in the race, and I didn't have any issues. So I would rate this pretty high, and we noticed that the heel in this shoe, the heel rubber, was literally intact after the race. It's pristine. I think there's really a good durability potential with that heel and with that rubber material here on the SC Elite V5. This shoe will release for €280, $250.
Oh my goodness. Oh, hopefully y'all didn't hear that.
Around the summertime. I don't have a specific
wasn't
date
that bad on the
to
mic.
share with you right now. Should you buy it? I think the answer is in the video. Yes, for shorter distances. Yes, if you're a fan of New Balance and the SuperComp Elite line and you want something lighter, something more agile, something more aggressive. No, if you're interested only in the marathon distance, you need stability, you're maybe a bit of a heavier runner. All of these choices, preferences, people should probably lean towards the SC Elite V4, also because you will find good deals once this shoe releases on its predecessor. Like I said again, this video is sponsored by Iron. There's a link in the description if you want to purchase this shoe.
So y'all, that was a pretty good video. As y'all heard it, man. You should buy this sneaker if you're looking for something that's maybe shorter than a marathon or full marathon distance. And you probably shouldn't buy this and maybe go for the V4 if you're more heavy-footed. And if you just want something that's more, I think it was like a wider platform, so that's what he said. But, you guys, I love the overall design of this right here. I can't lie. I'm not really running marathons anytime soon. At least that's what I think. I don't know what's in store, but I got to work my way up for sure. I got to start running some miles and get myself 2 miles and things like that. But the crazy thing, I don't know how long a marathon is, like what the distance is. But, yeah, this was a great video to react to. And with that being said, you guys, if you guys do want to go ahead and get put on game with the New Balance Rebel V5, that one we had an early look by Believe in the Run. I did a whole reaction video to that. We got a whole in-depth look. We got a history of the previous sneakers as well. It was a phenomenal video. So if you want to go and check that video out, click right here, and that would be a great follow-up. I'll see you that one.